How's it going, guys? It's DizzyBoy121 predicting UFC 148 on the 6th round podcast. Anderson Silva versus Sonnen, the biggest rematch in MMA history. First fight, let's get right to it, make this quick. John Alessio versus Shane Roller. John Alessio, his biggest defect is submission, 7 losses by submission. Shane Roller, he has good submissions and good wrestling. So right there, Shane Roller's coming in as a favorite at negative 200. And John Alessio, the underdog, at plus 194. The thing is, Shane Roller has a 3-fight losing streak right now. Melvin Gillard, TJ Grant, and Michael Johnson. His last fight was in January. And John Alessio, he's coming off a loss too, but that's to Mark Bocek. And in this fight, I think he proved that he can hang in there with a good wrestler and, make him work for those takedowns. So if he can keep this fight standing, I'm giving John Alessio the advantage in striking just because Shane Roller is a little more predictable and not as good as John Alessio in the striking area. So as the underdog and a good bet, I'm taking John Alessio by decision at plus 194. Now, moving on, we have Constantino Philippou versus Ricky Fukuda. In the last fight, Ricky Fukuda got a decision victory. And in this fight, I'm expecting the exact same thing. Constantino's striking is better than Ricky Fukuda's, but Ricky Fukuda is not afraid to stand and bang with these guys, and that's how he implements his wrestling. Constantino's the favorite at negative 170, and Fukuda's plus 165. The thing is, Fukuda is really, really in your face type of guy, and I see him wearing out Constantino's and tiring him out and getting the decision victory. I know that Constantino's fought heavy guys like Corey McGee who do the exact same, but Fukuda is one of those few Japanese guys who will actually take in a fight, and I see him tiring Constantino out, taking him to the mat, and decisioning him with the victory. So I'm taking Fukuda at plus 165 money. Melvin Gillard versus Fabricio Camoes. Man, Melvin Gillard is just we all know his kryptonite is those submissions, but his strength is the TKOs. Fabricio Camoes coming in 3rd-degree black belt with some crazy submissions and striking. But the thing is, you don't want to stand and bang with Melvin Gillard because you're gonna get knocked out. I really hope that Melvin Gillard is able to come back because if he's not, there's a 3rd loss on his career. Previously to Joe Lozon and Jim Miller, both by rear naked choke. Next fight is Gleison Tibau versus Khabib. In this fight, if you stood both of the guys side by side, you would understand why Gleison Tibau is coming in as a favorite. He's just a huge lightweight. Khabib, his UFC debut was against Kamal Shalvaruz, and he submitted him. And Kamal is a really good wrestler. I mean, really good, Olympic level type of wrestler. But Gleison Tibau, he has he's really won the organization. He has victories over Josh Neer, Cal Uno, Kurt Pellegrino, Rafael Dos Anjos, and his last loss was to Jim Miller, which Jim Miller is a top 5 lightweight. So in this fight, I see Gleison Tibau just using his size, pushing Khabib up against the cage, maybe getting a takedown and just ground and pounding him. I wouldn't be surprised if he TKO'd him, but I'm taking Gleison Tibau by decision. Not betting this fight just because Gleison Tibau should win. Now to the main card, Ivan Menjivar versus Mike Easton. A lot of people like Mike Easton along with Mad Dog Miller. Mad Dog Miller thinks that Mike Easton is going to win this fight by destruction. I disagree. Mike Easton is the underdog, and for a reason. Ivan Menjivar is a vet. He's fought the who's in his divisions back when he was fighting guys like GSP. And like, you don't even understand Ivan Menjivar's craziness. This guy does spinning shit that would make Nick Diaz curse up a storm. His clinch work is amazing. Mike Easton, yeah, this guy has a good record, but this is a step up in competition in my opinion, and I think Ivan Menjivar is just gonna unload on Mike Easton, shock him. I saw a few of Mike Easton's fights, and he's really like weird in some fights. In some fights he'll just come out and just just do his thing. Other fights he'll like step back and just have a slow start. So I'm going with Ivan Menjivar to TKO Mike Easton early on or early in the 2nd round after he hurts him in the 1st round. Next fight, Chad Mendes versus Cody McKenzie. In this fight, Chad Mendes is the biggest favorite in this entire card, coming at negative 550. Cody McKenzie is the biggest underdog at like 472, plus 472. The only question in this fight is, can Cody McKenzie submit Chad Mendes with the guillotine? Knowing that Chad Mendes trains with Uriah Faber, and he's part of Team Alpha Male, and all they do is train the guillotine, and his neck has been squeezed by all these bigger guys, stronger, more muscular guys. Yet Cody McKenzie somehow has a guillotine named after him because this dude is crazy with it. It's not like the Team Alpha Male guillotines. It's completely different. It has its own name. That's how different it is. So can he do it? I think not. I think Chad Mendes is smart enough to, keep it away from the ground for a little bit. Not saying that he's going to lose if it takes it down to the ground, because Cody McKenzie is like an extremely awesome grappler. But the guillotine is always a question. In my mind, I know a lot of people disagree. But Chad Mendes is a pretty solid lock on this card. I think he'll just pick him apart on the feet. Maybe implement his wrestling, pushing up against the cage. I wouldn't be surprised if he does decide to take him down and ground and pound him, but always making sure to keep his head out of Cody McKenzie's armpit. So, taking Chad Mendes by TKO over Cody McKenzie. Next fight, Dong Hyun Kim versus Damian Maia. Damian Maia making his welterweight debut, and I really don't understand. I understand why he's dropping down, but he gassed out in his last fight. I assume that it was the weight cut, and I don't know how that's going to affect him in this fight. So there's just too many question marks with Damian Maia. There's the weight cut, cardio. He's 30. What is he? 34, and I mean, honestly, this guy's striking isn't the best. He's improved since he started training with Wanderlei Silva. But Dong Hyun Kim, come on, this is just a lopsided fight in my opinion. The stun gun, his striking's great. He has a judo black belt. His cardio's good. He has a 4-inch reach advantage. If you look at the statistics on Fight Metric, Kim has an 82% takedown defense, while Damian Maia has a 29% takedown accuracy. I mean, really, this fight, Dong Hyun Kim, all the way. Um, and I think he's the favorite at he's the favorite at negative 139, which is close enough to even money. And I would bet this fight heavy on Dong Hyun Kim. Damian Maia, really his specialty is submissions. Yet he hasn't had a submission victory since 2007. So he's going to be looking for the submission, but I don't think he's going to get it down to the ground. And Dong Hyun Kim is just going to destroy him. Next fight, Kung Lee versus Patrick Cote. Finally, Patrick Cote is back in the UFC. Kung Lee's coming off that loss to Wanderlei Silva. Honestly, Kung Lee's too distracted with his movie making and his personal life. Kung Lee, he's just very talented, but he's old, man. He's 40 years old. Patrick Cote's coming in. We know what he does. He's a great chin. He loves to stand and bang. He has a heavy right hand. 5-inch reach advantage in this fight. Now, Kung Lee, man, if you looked at his resume, it's just awesome. All of his wins are by TKO or KO. College wrestler. His kicks are just some of the best in all of UFC history. Um, but his cardio, he's not dedicated enough, or he can't be. I don't know if it's his personal life or he's just his. I don't know what it is, but he tires out. In the Wanderlei Silva fight, he was doing good early on, and then tired out a little bit, and Wanderlei Silva just took him out after that. So I see Patrick Cote doing the same thing, weathering the storm of all those kicks. After Kung Lee tires, Patrick Cote just gets a TKO and has a successful UFC return. Next fight, Forrest Griffin versus Tito Ortiz, the trilogy. A fight that honestly I don't care about. I know it's an opinion and I shouldn't be doing too many of those, but both of these guys lost interest in fighting. Tito Ortiz, whatever he says on the interviews, he's doing it for the money. Forrest Griffin, this isn't his retirement fight, but it might as well be. Tito Ortiz coming as the heavy underdog at plus 300, and Forrest Griffin's coming as the favorite at negative 302. And honestly, I'm just gonna take Forrest Griffin by decision. I don't think either of these guys can finish each other. Tito Ortiz is gonna be looking for it. Everybody wants to go out on a win, but it's just not happening, man. He got, in my opinion, a lucky victory over Ryan Bader, even though it was a clear submission. But Tito Ortiz isn't there anymore. Tito Ortiz probably trained really hard, and I see it going the same way Chuck Liddell trained. He got in really good shape, but the thing is, you just can't compete anymore. at this level. And I'm not saying Forrest Griffin is like an extremely awesome fighter anymore. He's still top 10 though. And Tito Ortiz, again, these guys are on the downslope. Not very interested in this fight. I appreciate everything Tito did in his career, and good luck to him in his future ventures. Forrest Griffin by decision. Last fight, Anderson Silva versus Chael Sonnen. We all know the story. No need to get into it. Anderson Silva at negative 260 and Chael Sonnen coming in at the underdog 250. Chael Sonnen, his mentality is just weird to me. If you saw the Joe Rogan podcast, you can see the kind of the real side of Chael Sonnen versus what you see promoting the fights. Everybody says he's a great guy. I've talked to him just like once or twice, not in person, but and he seems like a great guy. Anderson Silva, he always has like that. I don't know. This guy is weird. I really don't know much about him. His autobiography says a lot about him though. How he was wanting to kill his former coach, to all this stuff, and then all these guys are suing him now because he's basically two faced. In the first fight, I picked Anderson Silva to win by TKO. He didn't. He won by submission late in the fifth round. Chael Sonnen just proved what Anderson Silva's weakness is. Was Anderson Silva hurt? I don't believe it. I'm taking Chael Sonnen by decision. I have a lot of money at Chael Sonnen in this fight, so I'm waiting for a new middleweight champion, and I'm waiting to see what happens to Anderson Silva after this fight. And that's it. Mad Dog Miller is also going with Chael Sonnen, so we'll see what happens. Saturday, tune in. Anderson Silva versus Chael Sonnen. That's it for the 6th round podcast. I have one announcement. I'll actually be working on the site this week and next week, so hopefully it'll be up in 2 to 3 weeks, and we're going big with it. So, till next time, peace.